Morning power of call. My friends, I've got some good news for you guys. We started this Phoenix project, a little over a week ago, and the whole idea was to create a opportunity to super hyper dial in and focus on the students who've been in here for 3 or more months, and then we're having a hard time synthesizing, actually applying the stuff taught in the boot camp. Hadn't made a sale yet, so we got them all together, started working with them, and we just hit our 10th giant win inside of the Phoenix Wins channel. We had a guy close. And the fun thing is, about at least half of the wins in there have all been above $500. They've been $500 and above for their first project. It's been awesome. So we've been helping people make some amazing stuff. I told them on one of our live calls, I shaved my head on the call and I said, I'm not growing hair until we have at least 10 of you guys who have made money. We finally hit 10, so I can start growing my hair back if I want. I don't know, maybe I'll keep it bald, but it was an exciting way to wake up this morning, see that giant win in there. We've been crushing it. So if you're in the Phoenix program, congratulations. If you're one of those 10 people that made the huge win, good on you. You guys have figured out how to apply the stuff. If you're still in the Phoenix program and you're struggling to figure it out, guys, go through the resources inside of that channel. There's a lot of valuable stuff. If you meet the criteria for being in the Phoenix program, but you're not in the Phoenix program, meaning you have been in the program for over 3 months, inside of the copywriting campus active for the last 3 months, you finished the boot camp and you have yet to land a client, go join the Phoenix program. There's an application form inside of the general resources channel. You can still go through all the resources. I'm still doing calls. I'm still helping people. I mean, I'm going to grow my hair back maybe, but we're still helping people in there. So if you're in the program and you're still struggling, I'm in there holding your hand a lot more closely, helping you guys apply the principles in there. Because the things you need to succeed are in the boot camp. They're in the legions. There's some people that just have. And most of the thing, and honestly, the funny thing is, most of the things that changed for these guys wasn't so much I taught them some new copywriting hack or some cool outreach method. It was I taught them how to think. I helped them change their mind, help them regain focus, help them manage their time, and I helped them OODA loop more effectively. I taught them how to do those things, and that's what helped a lot of these guys push over the edge and make some serious progress. Lots of those guys, I mean, we have a lot of people that are still in the sales process. Usually when you improve you dial in your outreach, you OODA loop, it takes you a couple of weeks to book those calls and have those sales calls and stuff like that. So we've got some guys who are still in the program. We've got some big wins in the works for a lot of those guys. But if you meet the criteria for that program and you're not in that program, I highly recommend you join that program. You go through the resources we have there. You start applying the things that I've taught, because I want you all to succeed as massively as these guys. And it's been fun to see them hit those big wins too. 500 plus for a first project is a great way to start off your copywriting career. So go take a look. Go dive in if you meet those criteria. And again, if you do the application forms inside of the general resource, inside of courses, you go to courses, general resources, and then it's apply for the Phoenix program. And then you just take that quiz, you make sure you meet the requirements, and you dive right in. So if that's you, you need to do that. We have a live copy review tomorrow. I'll be posting the links after this call for you guys to submit your copy for that. And that's all the housekeeping. We've got new content coming. It's taken a while for the editors to piece together. I mean, I recorded a bunch of little clips, so they're having to piece it all together into one giant video. So it's going to take them some time. But once we have that, we've got new content we release for you guys, all that stuff. So hang in there. Keep an eye on announcements. We got fun stuff coming. Today, I want to talk with you guys about the power of the truth. The power of the truth. I get asked on a regular basis, should I lie? Right? They get asked by prospects, either in an email. People ask them, hey, what previous work have you done? What project, like who have you worked with in the past? Or they get asked on a sales call, like, hey, what other businesses have you worked for? People get asked a lot about their past experience. People try and think of cool promises they can make for their prospects inside of their outreach. There's a lot of times where, as a copywriter, and then like when you're writing copy for your end customer, for that end reader, there's a lot of times where the temptation to misrepresent the truth comes up, right? Do you lie? And I'm going to talk with you guys about why you should never lie, why you should always tell the truth, and why there's power in telling the truth that you can never have if you come up with a lie. Now, let's talk about a couple scenarios, right? And I'm going to use the what work have you done in the past, because that's usually the one that the most people get nervous about, right? That's what they get nervous about, and they get most tempted to lie. And I'm going to talk about it as it applies to, let's work out backwards, right? Because the first time it can come up is when it's on the email, but the last time it usually comes up is on a sales call. I'm going to work on it backwards. I'm going to go from the very end back to the beginning, because I want you guys to understand it. for the very end, right? Like if say let's say you're doing a sales call, you hop on, you get to know them, it's all great, you're having a good time. You start talking to them about their business, you learn about their situation, you learn about goals that they have, and you come up with a really good solution to solve a problem they have. And you pitch it as a discovery project. And I say, yeah, that sounds good. And then they ask you, tell me about the work that you've done in the past. Now, let me explain one of the reasons they're doing what they're doing. A sales call is an opportunity for them to evaluate you as a person. They're evaluating whether or not you are a person who is honest. They're evaluating whether or not you're a person who is capable of doing what you're saying, and they're trying to evaluate if you're someone they can trust with their business, right? And human beings, we've always evaluated each other when we meet each other. If you ever see two dogs meet each other, they kind of like feel each other out, like smell each other, see what's up, right? Humans are the same way. When we meet another human, we're always kind of sizing each other up. And that's what's happening on a sales call. And they're challenging you to see if you are going to tell the truth. And they're kind of unsure about you, right? At that point, there's a level of trust they haven't established yet. So you have two options. And this is what a lot of people do. When they get asked that question, they start to feel nervous, right? When they start to feel nervous, their physiology, their body language changes, right? The way they're sitting changes. They'll start to do things to like self-soothe, and they might say, and a little bit more. Might act a little nervous, might look around instead of maintaining eye contact, and their tonality in their voice will change. There'll be a feeling of uncertainty there. If they turn around, especially when they turn around and lie, right? That feeling of uncertainty is a sign of weakness, and it's something that will make them less interested in working with you, right? They're going to be less interested in doing business with you if they think that you are lying to them or you have some type of hidden agenda. That's what people are really, really worried about. If anytime there's that sort of emotional, it kind of shows itself that there's some weakness, there's some uncertainty on your part that will tank your credibility with them. So it's absolutely important for you to not only tell the truth, but to own the truth, right? When they ask, hey, this is cool and all, but like, what other projects have you worked on? Like what other clients have you had? And they're asking that question. They're trying to unsettle you, and they're trying to find out if they can even trust you to do what you say you do. And so here's what you do. The first thing you do before you address it, you say, okay, before I answer your question, tell me this. Do you like the idea? Do you like this idea of the solution to solve your problem? Does it sound like it makes sense to you, right? Now, if they say, no, we don't really like it, then you've got other problems, right? You got to go back and fix that. The real problem isn't about you. It's about the idea that you came up with. But if they're like, yeah, no, I like the idea. I think it would really work. I think the right copywriter can make it happen. Then you're ready to move on. Like if you address the wrong thing at the wrong time, that's not what you do. But anyways, once they say, yeah, we like the idea, just want to know more about you, then you look them dead in the eye and you say, yeah, this is my first paid project. So I've worked as a copywriter for a while. I've been practicing like a madman, breaking down the great stuff. But this is my first paid project. And you say, and I totally understand why that might make you feel, might have some questions in your mind. You might wonder, like, is he going to be able to do this or not? Yeah. But if you like the idea is solid. Here's what I'm willing to do, because I understand that there's a level of risk for you. I'm willing to do this on a performance basis. So let's set a target for what success needs to look like. I'll do all the work, create all the stuff. If you like it, you can use it. If you don't like it and think it's terrible, you can throw it out and laugh in my face. It's totally okay. But if you like it, what I actually produce, and you use it, and it reaches X amount of results, and pick a number that's reasonable, nothing that's like outworldly crazy, but something that's reasonable. If it hits this level of results, then you pay me then. And I'm totally willing to take on the risk because I'm that confident in my ability to rise to the occasion and write for your brand. I really like your brand. I think it's a great brand. I think you make a huge impact on your people. And I want to be a part of it. And I'm willing to make this make sense for you. Are you open to doing a deal like that? Are you open to working in that manner? And usually, if you've maintained the confidence, if you've shown that you are strong in your own acceptance of that truth, and you show that you're willing to help them and to meet them make the deal make sense for them, they'll say yes. And then it's up to you to actually do what you say you're going to do and actually produce the results. If you own the truth, if you actually understand that it is okay to do your first project, it's everyone who's ever made money as a copywriter has done a first project. Every single one. No one has just started with 10 projects. Like they all start with that first project. So when people are like, well, I'm looking for someone with an experience, yeah, they're looking for someone with the right idea and the right deal. If you set it up in a way where you take on the risk and you force yourself to rise to the occasion, and you are completely and utterly confident in the solidness of your idea, then they'll roll with that, and they'll be able to run with it as well. Now, if you try and do any kind of shifty, whatever, lie, the opposite, then they're going to sense that and they're not going to work with you. But if you own the truth and are honest about it and confident about your abilities and are willing to set up the deal in a way where you show that you understand where they're coming from, but like you're actually 100% confident in it, then they will bite. Then they'll agree because you passed their little tests, right? They're testing to see if you're serious. They're testing to see how confident you are in yourself. If you maintain that confidence, that's the most important thing. And the easiest way to do that is to lean into and always tell the truth. That's all you need to do. Just want to check the chat real quick. Yeah. And that doesn't mean you have to shoot yourself in the foot, right? You can represent the truth in the best way, the most favorable way possible, right? You should always come at things from a position of strength. It's your duty to do so as a man. And you shouldn't go out of your way to paint the situation in a terrible light. You should represent it in the best way possible, and the best way you can back up with proof. But you should always tell the truth, and it gives you power. Now, there's other ways to answer this objection. If it comes up at the very beginning of the call, you do the same thing. You're just honest with them. You kind of let them know. Again, you haven't had an idea yet, so you can't go talk to them about the idea, but you can just, be honest about it and then continue, make sure that's cool with them, and then continue on. If they ask it inside of the email, you do the same thing. Tell them the truth. Hit them with that. You can ask them about the idea at that point, especially if they replied back to your original email where you're saying free value and they say, hey, what experience do you have? And you say, okay, yeah, I can definitely tell you about my experience. But first, do you like this idea? Do you want me to send this thing over? If so, let me know. And then you can tell them about the idea. You want to draw their attention to the validity of the thing that they actually want first before you start talking about this, because it strengthens your position a little bit. So that's how you handle it there. When you're doing your outreach and you're promising you have an idea for them, you need to have an idea. You need to actually have some form of an idea of how to help their business, and you need to be honest about the potential benefits of this. If you tell them, hey, this is going to 10x your sales in 3 days, unless you actually have something that's going to 10x that person's sales in 3 days, don't say that. If you make an unbelievable claim, something that's not backed up by something that you can back up, it's going to backfire in your face. You're going to come across as a marketer who makes promises he can't keep, and no one wants to work with a man who makes promises he can't keep. Brands that make promises they can't keep don't last. It's only by making a promise and over fulfilling that promise with a customer that you build that trust relationship with them over the long term as a business, right? So you don't want to bring someone onto your team who makes promises he can't keep, right? So you want to make sure you represent the truth as in the best light possible, but you want to stick with the truth, and you need to use the power of the truth because it's going to set you apart from every single marketer in this world who lies. And most marketers in this world lie. Most marketers in this world don't have a value system. They really don't. They care about money. They will lie and cheat their way to money. And if you're the man who tells the truth and acts in a manner that is based on core values, and doing so while still being madly effective as a copywriter, like you don't have to be a bad copywriter. Like you can still be an amazing copywriter and tell the truth. It just depends on you to actually own the truth and to present your stuff in the best light possible. You can do that. You can be the guy who wins, and it gives you a huge advantage over them. When a business is sitting back trying to pick the right copywriter, which is a difficult task for them, if they see one that stands out because he says things that are true, he backs up and he does what he says, they want to work with that man. If he's confident in himself, even if it's his first deal, they want to work with him over the guy who's lying, even though he's done 10 other projects. Do you see what I'm saying, right? They want to work with the guy they can trust. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Now, when you're working with yourself, your own self-value is the trust. When you're talking to yourself with your self-talk and your self-hypnosis and you're going through life, you need to use the truth. You need to use the power of the truth. You can control the truth in great degree. You can say things and make them real, but you need to use the truth. And you need to be honest and do the things that you say you're going to do. If you do the things you say you're going to do, you have a power over weaker men. It gives you greater self-respect and gives you greater confidence, and it gives you an ability to win. In short, you should never lie. You should find ways to tell the truth, to own the truth, and be confident. You want to convey that you have a strong base, a strong foundation as a man, right? Any lies, any shifty behavior, it conveys that you don't have a strong base. And people don't like men that are shifty and don't have strong bases because they can turn around and stab them in the back. We're hardwired evolutionarily to find people that we can know, like, and trust because of how confident and firm they are in their principles. So keep that in mind. We got a super chat, Rumble rant, or whatever. Someone's asked a question, so I'm I'm going to answer it real quick. VK Ronos or whatever said, "Hey, Andrew, I emailed a prospect yesterday and he replied with a video of his where he said, we, the real world, should tell you to add a suppression list. Can you expand on what this is?" I think he's saying something of like a do not contact list. Like if someone says do not contact and we don't contact them, I don't control your guys' outreach or tell you who or who not to outreach to. If someone tells you they're not interested, you should not email them back at that point. You should be very respectful when someone says that they don't want to hear from you. Then you just don't talk to them anymore. Yeah, if you want to tag me if you want to put that video in the Ask Professor Andrew channel and tag me in it or something, then I can give you more context on that. But yeah, I have no idea specifically what he's talking about. Guys, there's a huge opportunity for you guys to drastically change the way you do outreach. And that's one of the things I've helped some of the guys in the Phoenix program do, not so much by giving them specific ideas, but just giving them permission to test out wildly different things. I have a big challenge, a big creativity challenge for you guys this weekend that I'll be announcing on, I think, Friday's morning power up call for you guys, where we're going to do a massive change inside the campus for, I don't know how long, but it's going to be a massive change in what I recommend for you guys to do when it comes to outreach. So stay tuned in. I'll be posting about that in announcements. I might tease a little bit more about it on tomorrow's call, but there's some changes I want you guys to make. I want to help you guys free your mind to think more creatively about your outreach so that you can get better results. My friends, it's been a good call. It's been a good chance to talk to you guys and share the importance of following and using the power of truth. As a man, it's your duty to live in a way that you are above reproach because of how strong you have forged your character through doing what you're saying you're going to do and telling the truth and living up to it. It's a huge advantage in today's society where men are weak. If you can be strong in this way, you stand out and you win. Trust me, life's easy when you're that guy. When you're the man because of your character, because of what you have done, life gets a lot easier. But friends, it's been a good call. I'll talk to you guys again later today or tomorrow. Definitely doing our power up tomorrow morning. But until then, use this information, take it, and use it to go make some money and improve your life. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.